Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into something you've probably seen absolutely everywhere lately. If you've been scrolling through social media at all, you might have caught people constantly writing down daily affirmations or swearing by this very specific sequence of numbers to hit their life goals. It's called the 369 manifestation method. Today, we're going to get Tesla's 369 secret explained simply, breaking down exactly where this whole concept came from and discovering how it actually bridges the gap between ancient numerology and modern psychology.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Tesla's key to the universe, look at the meaning of 3, 6, and 9, figure out how to actually use the method, explore a few alternative routines, and finally, dig into the actual psychology and science behind it all.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, Tesla's key to the universe.
So to really get this method, we kind of have to travel back in time and look at the legendary Serbian-American inventor, Nikola Tesla. You probably know him for creating the alternating current electrical system, right? But the guy was also deeply, deeply fascinated by math. Like when he studied circles, which, are 360 degrees, he noticed that 3 plus 6 equals 9. And what's wild is he discovered that no matter how many times you divide a circle, the resulting numbers will always reduce down to a 3, a 6, or a 9. He literally believed these 3 specific digits held the absolute key to the universe.
Now, that is a super cool piece of history, but it begs a pretty massive question. What does this actually mean for you and me on a random Tuesday? I mean, how do we take an inventor's complex theory on vortex mathematics and apply it to getting a promotion, finding an amazing relationship, or finally achieving financial freedom? To answer that, we've got to look at how modern spiritual practitioners and lightworkers basically translated his theory into a highly structured tool for personal growth. Which brings us nicely to section 2, the meaning of 3, 6, and 9.
So, modern manifestation coaches have essentially assigned a specific energetic vibe to each of these digits. The number 3 represents creation and divine connection. It's that initial spark where you set your intention. Then the number 6 represents balance, harmony, and tapping into your real inner strength. And finally, number 9 stands for completion, unlocking higher truths, and completely letting go of negativity. So it's basically a full journey, right? Going from the very first spark of an idea all the way to actually fulfilling it in your life.
All right, moving on to section 3, how to use the method. Now here is where we turn that fun theory into everyday practice. You just grab a journal and a pen, lock your focus onto one single crystal clear desire, and follow a pretty structured daily routine. Right when you wake up, you write your desire down 3 times to set that intention for the day. Halfway through the day, maybe on your lunch break, you write it 6 times to really amplify that energy. And then finally, right before your head hits the pillow at night, you write it 9 times to basically set that manifestation in stone.
But what are you actually putting on the paper? Well, it needs to be a positive, present tense affirmation. Take a look at this example. Notice how it doesn't say I want, because saying I want kind of implies you don't currently have it, right? Instead, it says I am thankful. It uses these great emotive words like freedom and joy. And here's a totally brilliant detail. It's designed to take about 17 seconds to write out. According to manifestation teachers like Abraham Hicks, 17 seconds is exactly the amount of time it takes for your brain to truly align its focus.
Okay, on to section 4, alternative 369 routines. Now listen, I totally get it. Sitting down with a physical journal 3 times a day just isn't for everyone. If you're super busy, check out the contrast here. On the left is that classic dedicated writing ritual we just talked about. But on the right, that's the alarm method. You just pick 3 things you want to achieve and set 6 different alarms on your phone. Whenever one goes off, take a quick, quiet second to mentally repeat those desires 9 times. It is such a clever way to subtly sneak this powerful repetition right into a crazy modern schedule.
You can definitely tweak things to fit your personal vibe too. You could try visualization, spending a dedicated 30 to 60 seconds just deeply feeling the end result. Or scripting, where you write out full, vivid paragraphs as if the event already happened. If you travel a lot for work, the speaking method is awesome. Literally just say your affirmations out loud in the car. Or you could try the gratitude combo, where you simply add 3 things you're already grateful for after every session. But the absolute golden rule across all of these variations, you really have to feel the emotion and totally detach from worrying about exactly how the goal is going to manifest.
So how long do you actually keep this up? Well, most sources agree you need to commit to your chosen routine for a specific, set duration. You might see 21 or maybe 45 days thrown around online, but 33 days is generally considered the absolute sweet spot for locking in that habit. Plus, if you like the math,
3 times 3 is 9, and 3 plus 3 is 6. I mean, it all perfectly ties right back into Tesla's sequence.
And that brings us perfectly to Section 5, the psychology and science.
Let's strip away all the mysticism for just a second. Why on earth does this actually get results? Well, it all comes down to something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This is a very real bundle of nerves sitting at your brainstem, and its entire job is to filter out random noise so you don't just get completely overwhelmed by the world. By exposing your brain to your goal over and over, morning, noon, and night, you are physically training your RAS to spot real-world opportunities that you probably would have just completely ignored otherwise. Basically, you are handing your brain a direct search command.
And as actual hard science backing this up too. Research from major cognitive and affective neuroscience journals shows that positive self-talk literally reprograms our neural pathways. When you confidently affirm your success in the present tense, it physically lights up the reward centers in your brain. That builds a core belief and the self-efficacy you actually need to go out there and make things happen.
But hey, we've got to keep it grounded, right? While the 369 method is undeniably incredible for boosting motivation, increasing your focus, and practicing daily gratitude, experts do warn about falling into the trap of magical thinking. The danger here is believing that merely writing words on paper guarantees automatic success. That can lead people to skip the actual hard work, or even make super risky financial investments just because they feel so aligned. The psychological focus is huge, absolutely, but you still have to put in the real-world action.
So, whether you look at this as tapping into Tesla's literal cosmic code of the universe, or you just see it as a brilliant, highly effective psychological hack to train your brain's focus, the 369 method is just endlessly fascinating. It beautifully bridges ancient numerical reverence with very real modern self-improvement. And that leaves us with one final, super exciting question for you to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. What do you intend to manifest first?